What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, my sister, Doris.
Hello.
Wow. My brother, Derek.
What's up, everybody?
And my friend, Dan.
What's going on, people?
And this week, we're going to be talking about WandaVision for the children.
For the children.
Oh my God. You guys messed that up. We're supposed to say it at the same time.
I forgot that quick.
For the children.
We literally just went over this. We should have practiced before.
That quick. Yeah, we should have practiced.
We're doing this for the children. So, but yeah, we're going to be talking about episodes 1 and 2 of WandaVision, which just dropped on Disney Plus, and we're going to see if that's any good. We do have news this week. I'm going to just quickly go over the news before we jump into WandaVision. So it has been announced that Justice League will be released as a full movie instead of a 4-part series on HBO Max. So I'm
It's 4 hours
this movie
long.
gonna be 4 hours long now?
4-hour movie.
I got time for that.
I know. I was like, I'm kind of like happy and not happy about it because I didn't really want to watch a 4-part series, but I also don't want to watch a 4-hour movie. So,
4-hour movie? Like, come on, man.
yeah.
I also don't want to watch
You also don't want to watch Justice
4
League.
parts. Problem solved. It's gonna be 4 parts for me.
I'm gonna split it to 2 parts.
Oh,
I'll split it to 2. 4 hours is a half a work day. Good lord. I'm like, I doubt it's going to be that interesting for the entire 4-hour run. Like, I know it's going to be dead for like an hour and a half out of that. There's a reason why movies aren't 4 hours long.
yikes.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I
so
can't do that.
okay, but yep, that's happening. There have been more reports of Charlie Cox being on set of Spider-Man 3. He is the actor that played Daredevil in Netflix. So it's still a rumor at this point, but it seems likely that he is actually in the Spider-Man 3 movie, likely playing the attorney for Spider-Man after the end of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but Kevin Feige was kind of like, we don't know if he's in the MCU or not.
Yeah, but see, he didn't say no either.
I think he was just. I feel like once we, and I say we as fans, figure out things, I think they just say the opposite to throw us off, but to be like, it's too late now.
Yeah, because I thought he said we'll see, which is like, that's not denying it at all. Like, generally, if he's not in it, why wouldn't you say no? He's not in it.
Because they don't ever say no to anything, do they? And he's like,
Really?
we'll see. But I'm
So
like,
if I
don't
ask Kevin Feige if I'm in the next Spider-Man movie,
Fans found out that the last Avengers movie title was going to be Endgame, and it was just like, well, we don't know. Like, and then 2 weeks later, it's Endgame. Like,
yeah.
we figured it out.
No, it's still a surprise.
When we said it, they was like, man, that sounds dope. And then they ended up using it. But that really wasn't supposed to be the title.
That's always possible.
True.
You're like, that's better than what we had.
Like, quick, change the graphics.
It was like, the Avengers, the last one. Like, you know what? Endgame sounds better, guys. And then it's good.
Yeah. I thought it was called Avengers Snap.
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's not really like. We'll see. We'll see. I think it would be pretty cool. Obviously, he's not going to be Daredevil. That movie has way too much in it already. I feel like because supposedly he's already done filming. So if he is actually a part of it, it's probably just a scene or two with him being the attorney. Which I still think is pretty cool.
I don't like the way that they do stuff like that. So then it's just like if the character is in another movie or his own movie, you know, it's not the whole origin explanation. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, he was in Spider-Man. Like how they did Spider-Man and Black Panther in Civil War.
True.
So I do like how they do that though.
Yeah, pretty good. Next bit of news. We talked about Heart of Stone before. This was the Gal Gadot movie series that's supposed to like kick off a spy James Bond-esque movie. And apparently the distribution rights to that has been sold to Netflix. So that's going to be coming out on Netflix whenever it gets released at this point.
Cool.
So, okay, we'll see if it actually starts something, though.
Is this a movie that has already been, like, made and shot, or...
No, it hasn't even been shot yet.
Okay.
Yeah, like, she's got a bunch of stuff that she's working on, so I don't even know when they're going to shoot it. To be honest, but
it's going to be in a lot of stuff coming up, like the upcoming years.
Yeah,
I think she's working on like 3 projects.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Projects.
It turns out the MCU has things planned through 2029 now, which
wow,
I kind of believe them since they have like all this. Like, it's like 20 series coming out in the future. I don't know. Like, so, yeah, maybe they actually do have things planned that far ahead. But that's pretty cool. We get more things like WandaVision.
2020 being under lockdown, I mean, you can get a lot of writing and put your imagination to use.
Yeah, man, I would have put them writers to work. Like, let's write some movies. Let's go.
We don't got to be together for y'all to write. Like... Right at home.
Yeah.
Right. Give me some ideas and we're going to see what's up.
We can storyboard over Zoom.
Yes, you can.
Yep. Okay, there's another Marvel rumor. Apparently, Black Panther 2 is now to introduce Doctor Doom. You guys think about that. I know we've been saying Submariner, but what if it was Doctor Doom?
Like Dr. Doom, I don't know. How does he fit with Black Panther, though?
I don't know. There's always a storyline in the comics or something.
It could be a rival country.
Yeah. Well, you know, with Marvel, I really don't think they're just pulling it out of thin air. There's always something that they're basing it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to look into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I never really put Dr. Doom and Black Panther in the same...
Like, that sounds weird, right? I mean, I kind of like it because... I don't want it to be rehashing Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, which is what you always put together. Yeah. So for him to be introduced in another movie makes, sense. I just think it's weird that it would be Black Panther.
Yeah. But, if maybe if they don't want to wait for Fantastic Four, plus, like you said, they don't want to redo that again. I don't know. Who else do you put them in?
Enough about Dr. Doom, and I've only seen him either with Spider-Man or with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I don't think they can do Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's pretty much done after the 3rd movie.
Yeah,
like so he's gonna be in some other stuff, but they can't do Spider-Man. Talking about some more movies. Some more movies have been delayed. No Time to Die is being pushed back again. That movie's never coming out. Also, it looks like Sony is pushing back Morbius.
Oh,
I forgot about Morbius.
When was that supposed to come out?
In March.
Yeah. And No Time to Die was what, April or March?
I think so. I think it was March too. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Originally it was February, then March, then November. No, July, then November.
I honestly just want this movie to come out so we can get a new James Bond. Please. I just want a new James Bond.
Yeah, at this point, I just want to see it. Just on demand, please.
So people are questioning what's going to happen with Black Widow. That's set for April. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think? Are they going to push it back, or are they going to do a simultaneously release? Black Widow's a tentpole movie, and Disney seemed to be set on having their tentpoles come out in theater.
Right. So I feel like Disney, they just push it back. Yeah, I feel like they're going to push it back.
We're never going to see this movie, are we?
Nope.
The world's going to end, and I would not have seen the Black Widow movie. Can be upset.
Probably.
By the time all these movies come out, Marvel gonna have the rights to all their characters. X-Men, Spider-Man, Hulk.
Well, we lost this entire year. We lost 2020, and they got the rights back to their Netflix characters. It's like, well, we got that now. So, man, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't have another year like this, because, man, I really want something to actually talk about on the podcast. I mean, we got a bunch of Disney Plus series to talk about, but we're supposed to be talking about movies. So, yeah. And the last bit of news that I got, I think we may have talked about this before, but Deadpool 3 is confirmed for Marvel now. They're actually working on it. I mean, like, we knew they were going to do it, but now it's 100% confirmed. Deadpool 3 is going to be coming out. It's in the MCU, so it's tying in timeline-wise, and it's still rated R for all of those people who would throw a fit if it wasn't.
That's what I was going to bring out. I was like, I saw that it's still going to be a rated R movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that already.
We did.
You can't really do it well without it being rated R.
I mean, no, I think it earns its rated R marking. I just feel like I seen the PG-13 version of it. It was fine. I mean, because the rated R version is just him making jokes about his crotch, which honestly, I can do.
Yeah.
It's just cheese.
I mean, the rated R one, like, you took out the swear words and you cut away from some of the violence in the movie. It didn't change the movie at all. The fact, like, it did upset me, the fact that the PG-13 one got, like, such a lower rating than the rated R one, because I was like, it's the same movie. Come on. Like, how did you rate it lower? It's the exact same movie.
People want their violence, though. They want their blood and gore. Like, what if Grand Theft Auto was rated E for everyone?
You can't do that, though.
That's different.
That's a different game, though. Like, that would be a different game.
That would be a completely
like, we need our violence and our war. So,
yeah.
Gran Turismo.
It would be Gran Turismo.
It's Need for Speed.
No, it would be Need for Speed, yeah. Or Driver. Was Driver rated M?
No, Driver. Yeah, it might have been rated M.
Okay, never mind then.
Never played that game.
Yeah, no. Play that. Okay, so Ryan Reynolds had something funny to say about it. He said he showed Disney the first two Spider-Man movies and told them that it was Deadpool, and that's how it got approved. So I am ready for some Deadpool antics in the MCU. I want to see the meta that he brings to it, especially like at the beginning. Like, how is he going to acknowledge the change? Because you know he's going to acknowledge the change. It's still Deadpool 3, even though it's the first Deadpool movie in the MCU. So, like, it follows both timelines, I guess, right? So,
yeah.
I want to see this.
By adding Deadpool and by it being Deadpool 3, you actually connect all the movies.
Yeah, but do we want to? Let's not forget Dark Phoenix, okay?
Like, we could forget about half of the X-Men movies that came out.
There were only a few good ones.
All this is only be was a separate timeline.
X-Men 1, X2, First Class. I'll throw Days of Future Past in there because it was okay.
Yeah, Days of Future Past, yeah.
Y'all are stretching with these X-Men movies.
And Logan. That's all you get.
Hey, that's all honestly, X-Men 1 and 2 and Logan, that's the only ones I want in the timeline.
No, it's not. It's not in the timeline, okay? No, let's not tie this to the MCU. It's no. No. All right. That is all the news that I have. So we can get into WandaVision for the children.
For the children.
For the children.
Yes, for the children. So, WandaVision. I'm going to give just a real quick thing on it before we start getting deep dives into spoilers. If you haven't seen episode 1 and 2, we're not doing no non-spoiler talk for it. It's a TV show. Go watch it. So, episode 1 and 2 spoilers. If you haven't seen it, turn it off. You don't want to be spoiled for anything. Watch it first and then come back and listen to us again. Yeah, so I really like this. I really enjoyed it. It is weirdly entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was weird to watch it because of, it's completely different from the movies, obviously. But like once it got into it, and like I was cracking up through both of the episodes, especially the second one.
I did find it funny. I definitely found it funny, and I think part of my enjoyment was like I like the 60s sitcoms. I guess like I did used to watch like Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie and stuff when I was a kid. So yeah, like it was enjoyable.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, even though like not a lot happened, I did find myself like laughing throughout the first 2 episodes, and it's because I just realized like I find 60 comedies delightful. Like, when I was unemployed, like my day revolved around like watching I Dream of Jeannie because nothing else is on in the middle of the day. So it was like I would watch that and Andy Griffin. It's like I enjoy those shows. So like watching that was just like watching one of those shows, which is just overall joyful to watch.
Yeah. It is interesting how they put this together. Like, it's just interesting. But Derek, you were saying something.
I was going to say I'm glad that they released the first 2 episodes. For me, I felt like the first episode started real slow. Like, it was entertaining to me still, but it's like if they just had that one episode, I would have felt like I was missing something or it was missing something. But by it being 2 episodes, it kept, my interest going. And how the second episode ended, I was like, oh, okay. So I felt like the first for me.
So, and I know we said not a lot happened in these episodes, but there's still a lot to talk about. Like, man, there's some craziness in this.
Well, I feel like we said like not a lot happened, but I feel like everything that they showed us has a reasoning behind it. And then as we move on, we were like, oh yeah, the first episode did show that, or they did say that. So I feel like nothing was pointless. We just, at this point, I don't think we catch the meaning behind everything that were shown to us.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's going to turn into something like that. Like everything going to connect somehow, some way. And it's going to be like I don't want to say like an ending point, but like everything's pointing towards something. And it's going to be like some way where it all comes together, or maybe at the end of the season or whatever. I don't know. But to what Derek was saying, though, I think he's right, though. Because like if they did just show the one episode, you might be like, it was cool, but, I don't know. Episode kind of like put us more into like, it was a little bit more settling to me. Like the first one wasn't really like settling. Like you had to like get used to it. But once you got the second episode, you're like, oh, okay, I see how this is going to be. And then you, like now I'm looking forward to the third episode. Like, I was wishing that they had 3 of them. I was like, damn, I can't wait to see episode 3. Because it was like seriously entertaining. Like I ain't want to get up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I'm gonna jump into some of the stuff. We start the episode off. I'm gonna jump to the calendar thing. Like they're both looking at the calendar in episode 1, and there's a date marked, and they don't know what that date is. It's just marked with a heart, and they can't figure it out. Neither of them can remember. Now, here's what came to mind. Now, it turns out that it was just a dinner with Vision's boss or whatever, but I still think there was significance to that because neither one of them knew what it was. Like, they were just thrown into this world, and it kind of reminded me of Inception, where it's like, you don't know you're in a dream, like you don't know how you got to where you are or whatever, you're just there. And I felt like it was the same type of thing with them. They were just there. They moved into the house, they got this house, and they're just living there with no idea of their past, which it came up later in that episode too. And I don't know, I felt like that was a good thing because not only are the main characters just thrown into the world, but we are too. There was no explanation for what's going on right now. We just came on and Vision and Wanda are in a 60s sitcom. So like they were just thrown in a row. We are too. And I think it adds to that mystery. I don't know. I could be stretching a little bit for this, but I felt like that was a kind of a telling
I don't
thing.
know if the calendar leads to that, but I do think the point is where it's like how they are just as clueless, and I'm still in the mind that like Wanda is doing all of this, but like her reality warping could also probably warp her own reality at the same time, because you figure like they couldn't answer basic questions. And yes, the neighbors came in, well, how long you been married, where you're from, why'd you move here, and they couldn't answer the question. And I think it's because there's really no answer to it, because Wanda put them into this little world that there is no answer. Where they gonna say they came from? Wakanda? Because that's where they were last seen.
Right. Well, Vision was saying that she was from Sokovia, so like they remembered that much.
Yeah, but not all the background stuff, like how long they've been married, where did they meet and all that other stuff, and they didn't have any answers to those questions.
Yeah. True.
Well, it was like they knew that they weren't married. That's what I got from it. And during that time period in the 50s, you were not living together if you weren't married.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true.
Interesting. So, I mean, you had that set up. Then there was a thing at Vision's job where he's like questioning. He's like, what does this company do? And they kept answering it, but they kept being non-answers to what the company did. I mean, the company's name is Computational Services. So part of me is like, what are they computing? Is it for somebody else? Or is it just that, like, it's a sitcom job? Vision doesn't really grasp that fully. So, like, it's a sitcom job. They don't do anything because the job isn't real.
I think is his job isn't real because Wanda created this fake world. So Vision has to go to work because the man goes to work. But his job isn't real because the world isn't real.
Right.
And that's why they don't really do anything. What his boss says, what does it say? Like, we computate our inputs and outputs?
Yeah,
like, what does that mean?
It's like the inputs and outputs. And we're like, that's...
Yeah. Then he was talking about if you put the paper in the folders horizontally instead of vertically.
Yeah. It's saving money.
Saving money.
Yeah, so... those were small but telling things, right? And then we have like a big, huge one at the end of episode 1. But there is the commercial in the middle, right? How did y'all feel about that commercial? Yeah. It was weird.
It was weird. I felt like it tells you a lot too, though, about things that's going on.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, a lot of people brought out how like the sound was the sound that the Iron Man makes. The fact that it was a Stark-made toaster has significance. The fact that the red light's the only color we saw in the whole episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it.
Never mind. Go ahead.
I was saying I think it has some significance. It was more than just like a play commercial in the middle of a show.
Yeah. We'll talk about the second.
I think so too. I think the commercial definitely play like some kind of a part because it's like, okay, first of all, they're made by Stark. I don't think that's just like, all right, I think it'd be funny if they were made by Stark. I think there's a reason for that. Yeah. And the fact that I think these commercials are like planned out because somehow, some way it's gonna come into play, like eventually. So,
Derek,
I don't know how. I have no idea how, but I think somehow it is.
Slogan. Remember, forget your past and remember the future, or something like that. No,
forget your past. This is your future now. I think it was.
Yeah, I think that definitely has some meaning to it.
Yeah, forget your past. This is your future now.
Yeah.
Like basically saying like you're gonna live in this reality. This is it. Don't worry about everything else that happened before. But Derek, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that that goes back to small details that we probably will recall back to toward the end. I do feel like the commercials is a connection to something because it was just like the commercial had a weird, eerie feeling to it though, because it was like how it was delivered.
Yeah,
it was very weird, and it's just like. And it was like that for both commercials. So I just feel like it's something connecting with that.
Yeah. I after watching the second commercial, which we'll talk about in when we get to the second episode, I kind of put some stuff together for this. I think the commercial has to do with Wanda's origin and how she got to where she is now, because it is, and this is solely based on putting the first and second commercial together, because once we get to the second commercial, you can see more of it. But Wanda started off because her and her brother had a hatred for Stark, because they were staring a bomb in the face for a few days, they said, with Stark's name on it. Now, the toaster was beeping like a bomb before it finished its toasting job or whatever. It's like, it's made by Stark. Yeah. Was beeping like a bomb would. And then after seeing the second commercial, I was like, wait a second. Like, that is the actual start of Wanda, right? Looking at that bomb made by Tony Stark. So I'm like, I feel like they have to do, the commercials definitely have something directly to do with Wanda. And I think it's going over her origin and how she got to where she is now.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we got the commercials. All right, let's end of the episode. Like, these are only 20-minute episodes, so it's not a lot of stuff that happens. But at the end of the episode's when things get really weird, right? You got that family dinner. Oh, we didn't talk about Agnes. What's up with Agnes?
She's super weird. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, especially in the second episode too.
Of I Love Lucy, her neighbor is just like always loud, always getting into stuff and doing stuff. So I got that vibe from her.
Yeah,
she was like a nosy neighbor. Yeah. Like she going to find something that she ain't supposed to see or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like people are definitely stuck in this reality, most likely caused by Wanda, for the most part. And I think Agnes is stuck in it too, but I think she has another layer to it. Like, it feels like she has another layer to it. Like, she might be a little bit aware of what's going on while the other people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's possible. And I think like where he's talking, people are stuck, because I think at the dinner table when his boss was choking, is this name Arthur? I'm gonna call him Arthur. I don't remember what his name was for real.
I don't know. Mr. Hart. They just called him Mr. Hart.
Yeah, just Mr. Hart.
He doesn't have a first name?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, he's Arthur now. So when he was choking and his wife was saying like, stop it. I got to the point where I was realizing when she was no longer talking about him choking, was probably talking about what was happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I got the sense that it was pretty like, she was realizing like, this isn't right. And I'm like somewhere I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
And she was talking about being dizzy and stuff too.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell who she was talking to. Like, was she talking to her husband for choking, or was she like directing it at Wanda, like, stop it? Like Wanda had something to do with it, because it took them forever to like stop dude from choking.
Yeah, like, wasn't that the weird part?
They just let him die, right?
Yeah, that was weird.
But I was like,
and then he finally, went and put it out. I'm like, okay, why did that take so long?
I feel like it was a surprise. Like, this was something that wasn't supposed to be happening in the show or whatever. And because it was so weird, like I felt the same way. I'm like, nobody is jumping in. Like, they're all just staring there while he's choking. And that was just so eerie and weird. And then the way that Wanda did, like, it showed you that she has a little bit control over what's going on in this reality. The way she just was like, Vision, help him. It was more of a command than like, oh my gosh, help this guy that's dying. It was help him.
Yeah, it was like real calm though. Like, Vision, help him. I'm like, okay, that's kind of odd.
Someone threw a wrench into her reality, and then so that she had to like, well, now I need to fix this. And this was like her controlling the scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the vibe I got at the end of that dinner party.
Well, what I said at the end of the episode, I was like, the way it seemed, because then they just went about everything else. No matter what happened at that dinner, it's like the script was written already, right? It had to go well for them, where Vision goes well with his job. Because, like, how's it like, oh, this was excellent when they had breakfast for dinner, it took forever and he almost choked to death, right?
Right. And they just leave and shake hands and Vision gets a promotion. Like, what?
It's
like,
written in the script. That was the plan. And so no matter what happens here, that's what's going to happen in the story.
And they seem to be completely unfazed. Like, I feel like if I almost choked to death at dinner, I'm not fazed by that. And they just, like, walked out the house like everything was great.
Yeah. Especially, like, I mean, your wife came down in her lingerie or whatever, and, like, that would have been weird.
That'd have been super weird.
Like,
when he said it was a Sokovian thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yes, it's so Sokovian.
so Sokovian. What are you wearing?
Oh, that was funny. He's like, what are you wearing?
Yeah, so yeah, just weirdness ensues. And then the end, which was like kind of a mind blower, like they zoom out and Sword is watching the show on a TV, like analyzing it.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's like is Sword outside the bubble just watching everything that happens. That's kind of get it. It's like the guy taking notes like Hart almost dies. Right. And that's just end of the episode. Yeah, that caught me off guard. So that was an interesting conclusion.
Yeah, a little weird. Before we jump to episode 2, these end credits are awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With the little pixels.
Yeah, the pixels and everything. I want to talk a little bit about the pixels, and after we get past episode 2, because I got some theories on that too. Well, not a real theory. I just think there's some connections. Like there's a shape that keeps coming up. But episode 2, things start really getting weird in this episode. Like, man, like this episode. So we start off, isn't this when they're in the bed and they keep hearing the thumps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're in separate beds.
Well, that's how it was on the shows, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Now, this one seemed like it took more of inspiration from Bewitched. They had that Bewitched style opening.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was pretty cool. There were a few Easter eggs in that. Apparently, the supervillain Grim Reaper, his helmet was in the floorboards of the house when Vision was phasing through him. That was there.
Okay, I probably have to take another look at the opening credits then.
Yeah. Agnes is probably most definitely 100% Agatha Harkness from the comics. When they were in the grocery store in that cartoon opening, they had Auntie A's kitty litter, and Agatha Harkness was called Auntie by Scarlet Witch in the comics, and she had a black cat as well. So it seems that they were just trying to make that connection, and they had the cartoon version of Agnes there on the floor right under that sign. So I feel like that's kind of pointing to that. Maybe not, but it seems like it's a pretty good.
I feel like Agnes is an actual character, though.
Yeah,
like how it was portrayed.
So you got that going on. Now, the thumps that they were hearing, do you guys think that was Sword trying to get into the bubble or doing something with the bubble?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't it the same sound that they heard when she found the toy helicopter?
Yes, I was going to say that because we, after Vision left to go to the neighborhood watch thing, she heard a thump and then she found the toy helicopter. Now, somebody, I saw someone's video online and they said you could hear something that sounded like a lawnmower as well right before the thump. And he said that could have been the helicopter blades. Like, was that an actual helicopter that went into the reality and just became a toy?
And yeah, that was always my thought. That is like them actually trying to get in, but once you enter her reality, you know, she changed it into a toy, so it's no longer harmful, which makes sense because if you talk about the end of the episode, what she did, it's just like when everyone breaks in, she can able to change it to benefit her.
Yeah. So it's weird, but she seemed confused by it.
I took it as them seeing if they could implant something into the reality. That's what I took it as.
You think they put a toy in there?
Not necessarily a toy. I think that's how it appeared in that reality. But I was thinking that they tried to see if they can implant something in that reality to later on seeing if they can input other people in that reality to draw her out.
Did, because Geraldine is a plant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Geraldine.
She is at this point.
What'd you say?
Say that again?
Do you think she realized that she is at this point a plant?
No, I don't think she remembers anything.
No, she doesn't. No.
So I think we're gonna get kind of later in later episodes. We're gonna see how they did. Like, we're probably gonna find out what all of these things are. But it seems weird. The helicopter was the.
I was like, I feel like they're not oblivious. It was 2 characters in this episode. In the second episode, I was like, I don't think they're oblivious to what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I think like once you enter into the bubble, like whatever Wanda is doing, it kind of makes you like forget and you become like engrossed into this reality that it is. So I think like Sword was able to send people in, but once they're in, they kind of get lost in this world. So then it's just like they're trying to find another way to get in. So then you send in a helicopter. Now that's a toy, right? You send it to someone else, and apparently she can just reverse time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what she did. Yeah.
And the helicopter was the only thing that was colored in that scene.
Yeah, it was purple and yellow, I think.
Red and yellow.
Red and yellow. Yeah.
It was red?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, red.
It was red.
So very
strange. At the time,
red was the only color that was being shown.
Yeah, because when Dottie cut her hand, we saw red.
Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Agnes did not react to it at all. She was holding the helicopter when Agnes came up, and Agnes just didn't react to it at all.
I thought she hit it before Agnes could see it, technically.
I might have to watch the episode again.
Yeah,
I thought Agnes
she did too, because she kept looking back at it. Or looking back in that direction when they were walking away. Because it was like Wanda couldn't figure out what it was. She didn't know what it was or why it was there.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Now, there are definitely, we talked about the end of the first episode, how she had Vision saved through his life. And then at the end of this episode, we see more of it. Wanda's definitely has control over this. But there's still things like the fact that she can't remember stuff, or like she doesn't know why this toy helicopter is here, feels weird. Like it feels like she can control this reality, but she's also not fully in control.
Right.
Yeah, I got that.
Like
but then
somebody's like throwing off her story or throwing curveballs, and that she's like, I didn't do this.
But I was gonna say that's what I think it is. I think she's thrown off by the fact that Sword is trying to break in, and maybe that's what's throwing her off. It's like, this helicopter is not a part of the story. And maybe that's why she's so confused when she realized that there's outside forces trying to stop what she's doing.
Right.
But I feel like we're missing a point because with the radio, we're calling out to Wanda, and they were asking her, do you know who's doing this to you?
Yeah, who's doing this to you?
Yeah. So I don't feel like she's in full control if they're asking this.
Maybe I don't know.
There's something. There's a missing piece. There's a missing piece.
It's clearly she has some control over some of it.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's controlling her. I feel though.
Yeah, the whole thing is her powers. Right.
So you think someone is controlling her for her to create all of this?
Yeah, I think, or manipulating her, not controlling her. Someone's manipulating her to do this reality.
Yeah.
Or she kind of deep down wants this reality because she wants a happy life with Vision after she lost everything. And someone is, maybe Agnes, someone manipulated her into actually creating this.
Yeah. Because if we go back to the first episode, with them at the table and they're asking them all them questions, she freezes up. And this is my thing. if you're creating this reality and you have full control of the reality, you can say anything and they will believe you. It's yours.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was like, why don't they just make something up? Like,
yeah, but they couldn't, and she froze. And if you notice, every time there's a question that involves both of them, Vision never says anything.
Because Vision's not real. Vision's dead.
Right.
Vision is dead. I mean, I agree. Like she always seems so confused when they ask her a personal question. And so that's a very good point.
And in that scene, she was looking like, the look on her face was like she was actually trying to remember but couldn't.
Yep.
Not that she was trying to come up with something. Like, she was actually trying to remember, but she couldn't remember. So it's weird. Like, I feel like this whole thing is coming from her powers. Obviously, like, she's doing it, but there's a missing piece. There's definitely a missing piece to it. So,
it's definitely, she's not in full control of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're playing on her wanting to have a happy life with this reality, but it's like there's things that's going on that's out of her control.
Yeah. I feel that. The second commercial, the Strucker watch.
Oh, the watch.
That one was a little more blatant about.
Yeah.
And it had the Hydra symbol on the watch.
It had a giant Hydra. We already know Strucker's the one that experimented on her and her brother. So that one was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. That's why I was like, after that commercial, I was like, these commercials have to do with Wanda's origin. We started with Stark. That's the reason why they joined up with Strucker in the first place. The Stark bomb. The toaster sounded like a bomb. Now you got this Structure watch. He'll make time for you. Right? Yeah. He experimented on them.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to see episode 3 so bad because I want to know what it's going to lead to. Is it going to be Ultron? Like, and then Captain America in the 4th episode? I need to know.
Be like the Ultron washer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. Yeah. So, yeah, these like, it's definitely, it's Wanda's origin or whatever, or maybe it's her memories that like got pushed away or something. That's the way they're coming out.
Two things a man does not leave without. 1, his woman. 2, his Strucker. Strucker watch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that commercial is so weird.
It was weird.
It was so weird, man. I'm like, this is odd.
So weird.
Like, you know what? I'm going to turn the lights on.
2 things he doesn't leave the house without.
Yeah, so we got that Vision at the neighborhood watch thing. Like, he called the one guy.
Funny.
Yeah, it was funny. The neighborhood watch scene.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
And dude, the black dude gave him the gum. He was like, "Hey, you want some gum?" Yeah. Like, I heard they use this for something to masticate. He was like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It sounded so awkward, like, yeah, you do. The way he said it, he was like, yeah, you probably do. Because he didn't even say that. He said mastication.
Yeah.
Mastication. He's like, I don't do that. I don't do that. Like, no, that's you.
So,
I was
now he called.
Getting stuck made him like drunk and loopy.
Yeah, I was like, is that how?
Yeah, because it messed his gears up in his stomach.
I feel like that's Wanda not knowing how Vision works, because I'm pretty sure he would be made in a way if he ate something and messes him up. Like, he could just phase it out. Like, because Vision's dead. Vision is dead. So, he called the one guy a communist, and I feel like that was another point where like the program failed. Like, they're all like, And then they just started laughing after that. Like it was weird. It was like a weird little pause there.
Feeling that guy probably really was a communist, and they were just like,
"Say, do y'all think like he's actually there too?"
Huh?
Because they keep pointing him out, and I wonder if he's actually there too.
I think all the people are actually there.
Yeah, they're all there. They're all stuck.
Yeah, I think they're just like being mind controlled, or just under this new reality, like under this new created reality. That's what I feel like. But I think they're all real people, except for Mr. Hart disappeared this episode. He was not there.
Wife there?
Yes, she was at the talent show. His wife was at the talent show, and he was not.
I did not notice that.
Can we just? I don't know what her real name is, but the mom from that '70s show,
yeah,
Kitty.
Yeah, like shout out for you looking exactly the same.
True, she looks exactly the same.
She always looked the same.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, the mom from that '70s show. She's always enjoyable. She's like quietly funny.
Yeah,
like the person you suspect.
She is though.
Yeah.
Deborah Joe Rupp. Once they put the name, I was like, oh yeah,
her.
that was her name.
I
She
need to
sounded
find
the
out
same
her
too.
real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deborah. She sounded the same way she did in that '70s show.
yeah.
That real high squeaky voice, same personality. It fits though.
So, how the episode ended?
Yeah. So, well, since everything's for the children, obviously we're talking about Wanda's children,
right?
Because there are no children.
There's no children in this city.
In this town. For the children, and there are no kids.
Like, there's no kids there. I'm like, what?
Right, because no one speaks of having children.
Yeah, the fundraiser for the children. And I'm like, all right, what children? Because there were no children at this fundraiser. Like, yeah, so obviously it's for Wanda's kids, which is just 100% like, well, this is House of M.
Oh, definitely.
This is House of M. Reality created for her kids because she wanted kids. So she made herself pregnant at the end of the episode.
Right. I'm like, Vision, you should be freaked out by that.
In the beginning of the episode when she brought the beds together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was fast.
Magic baby? I'm like,
The Sims, woohoo.
Yeah, the woohoo, yeah. 100%. So yeah, so she's gonna create her kids just like she did in the comics. Weird, but that's Wanda, I guess. And then we hear some more thumps. So we're gonna talk about this beekeeper guy. They go outside and he comes up out of the sewer with bees around him. I don't know what's the deal. Who is this dude? He had a sword logo on his back. But I'm like, that's weird. Why is he a beekeeper coming out of a sewer and he got bees flying around?
I'm thinking that's not how he actually looks. That's just how he looks in Wanda's world. You know what I mean? Like, this guy probably came in with like a hazmat suit or something. But when he shows up in the bubble, what's the name? Westview or something like that?
Westview, yeah.
That then it's like, oh, it's a beekeeper in the sewer, which is super weird. Why would that ever be the thing? So, it's like, I don't think he's really like, oh, let's send in a beekeeper. I think they sent in a regular person and then he just materialized as like how the helicopter turned into a toy helicopter. He turns into a beekeeper
because he had the hazmat suit on. That's a good theory. Now, this is when we saw the amount of control that Wanda has over this reality. Because she's just like, at that point, he comes out and she's just like, no. And then just rewinds everything back and is like, it doesn't happen. Like, so.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Because, I'm like, the beekeeper comes and I'm like, oh, okay, something's going to happen. And she's just like, no. No. I mean, I wish I could do that in real life. Like, nah.
If only.
Yeah. Like, let's rewind that. Next time, don't go outside.
Right.
Now, in the trailers, you had that scene where Monica Rambeau was getting thrown out of the reality. Do you think that like that's basically what happened to this beekeeper guy? He came up, she was like, no, and he just got booted out of the reality.
I think anyone that's a threat to the reality gets kicked out the bubble, maybe.
Yeah. Is that what happened to Mr. Hart?
We don't see him again.
I mean, well, it's too early to say we never see him again, but could be.
Yeah, if we don't see him again, maybe, but
yeah,
I don't know.
But then he's not really a threat, or is almost dying a threat, because then you mess up the perfect world.
Yeah, she's supposed to have a perfect world here.
Well, maybe if someone gave him the Heimlich
instead of staring at him as he's choking.
Yeah.
So then, what about that lady when that radio came on? She broke the glass and her hand started bleeding.
Oh, Dottie. Dottie's in trouble. I feel like we gonna see the end of Dottie.
Dottie's in trouble because she broke out at that point, and she's like, "Who are you?" Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she kind of seemed like she knew something else was going on.
Yeah. I think she broke out of character at one point. The one dude that works with Vision, where Vision was asking, "What do we actually do here?" I think he broke out of character at one point. And I think Agnes broke out of character at one point.
Yeah. I feel like it might be because I think, like I said, I think Agnes has more to do with this whole situation. But I feel like maybe she like started this or caused Wanda to do all this, but Wanda's stronger than she thought. And now Agnes is under the control too. Like maybe Agnes didn't think she would be.
Mm-hmm.
That is a interesting theory. It's a good point.
So is Sword making people break character? Because I mean, that whole radio thing was random, and I feel like because of that radio,
Sword is trying to get in.
So yeah, Sword is trying to get in
and get Wanda out of the reality.
Because the guy on the radio, I believe, was Jimmy Woo, who was the FBI agent in Ant-Man and the Wasp, who now works for Sword. Played by Randall Park.
Yeah.
So I think that is Sword trying to break in to try to end all of this, because whatever she's doing is probably jacking up the real world.
Yeah,
probably somewhere.
Or causing people in the real world to fall into that reality.
I think
she just kidnapped the whole neighborhood, and you can't do those things.
Also, I think she's probably actually altering reality outside of that little bubble. Remember they said it's connecting to both Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Now, Doctor Strange, the name of his movie is Multiverse of Madness. I'm thinking Wanda causes it. People are theorizing that she's the villain in Doctor Strange. That could even be it, because we know Wanda loses her mind. And we have you have that trailer spot where she tells Vision, "This is our home," and it's like, oh well, then we fight for it. I think if she loses this perfect world, she's gonna go mad. I feel like she's gonna go mad, especially if she has to lose her kids.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I don't know if y'all know about this, like in the comic books when it comes to the House of M, but it was just like she came up with the House of M because of everything wrong that kept happening to her. She no longer had control. And then when they broke her out of it and she lost her children, it made her snap again. Because then she realized that her children wasn't real. So it got to the point where she couldn't even make out if what was real and what was fake because of what she did.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's loosely going to be like that.
Yeah. Now people are theorizing this is what's going to create mutants in the MCU.
That would be a good idea, because basically it would be the opposite of what happened in the comic books.
Yeah.
The House of M got rid of when the reality came, when they broke her out of the reality. There was no mutants. And I was like, doing it in the MCU this way and making it cause mutants, I think that's a pretty neat idea.
Yeah. So that we know it's gonna have something to do with the multiverse, apparently. Plus, it says it connects directly to Spider-Man, and we know for sure Spider-Man's gonna be the Spider-Verse with all the characters that they're putting in his movie. So it's like this show has a big consequences on the movies, which is so odd because it's like, is everybody gonna watch this show? You should, because it's awesome.
It should.
But yeah, like I feel like something really deep is gonna go down, and now that we talk about it, like I feel like obviously this reality is not gonna last for Wanda. And the fact that, like, her losing, she's going to lose Vision again. She already lost him twice, right? First time she had to kill him. Second time, Thanos brought him back and then just crushed his skull in.
This is not cool.
Yeah. So she lost him twice there. She brought him back in her reality, had children with him, and then she's going to lose him and her kids by the end of this series. I feel like Wanda's just going to lose it. 100%. Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, she's already crazy.
Yeah, and we're just now tapping into the amount of power that she has. Like, she's the strongest Avenger for a reason. Because, like, if she actually...
that in Endgame when she was, like, tearing Thanos apart and there was nothing he could do about it for real.
Right, he had to like rain down fire on her because she was about to end that fight.
She was about to do him in right there.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, she mad strong. That's for sure.
Yeah, I feel like when you got your power from the Infinity Stones, like you're basically unbeatable.
Those are our two strongest characters, right? Captain Marvel and Wanda. They both got their powers from the Infinity Stones.
Didn't Vision get his power from the Infinity Stone? He still got his head smashed.
Yeah, I mean, it's different if you take the Infinity Stone out of his head.
Yeah, and I feel like Vision is more like on a intellectual level because it's the Mind Stone. And by them combining the Mind Stone with Ultron and Jarvis and all of that, it's more like of an intelligent thing than more of a weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, Wanda basically has the powers of the Reality Stone.
Reality Stone, yeah. Yep.
Wow. I don't know. Captain Marvel has the Space Stone. I don't know. Captain Marvel's just weird. But yeah, this is gonna be. I want to see this series. It's gonna be 7 weeks throughout it. I'm gonna enjoy all 7 weeks of this. Look forward to Friday every week now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's like I wish they released all the episodes so I can just watch them all.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad they didn't because I will be done. I will be done already. Yeah,
I'd be done.
Yeah,
definitely. I would have been that first night. I would have stopped watching.
Saying it's just like, even thinking about this is like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch, spend 9 weeks watching them all, and then I'm gonna go back and watch them all together
as a movie.
I am watching them all together.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, man, I wish Disney Plus lets you do like watch parties. We should do watch parties.
Disney Plus do let you do watch parties.
Yeah, not with our audience though.
When the second episode ended, I said that I was like, "Oh, when it's done, I'm watching it all the way through."
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to, man. They connect so well, and it's just like I said, it's just entertaining, man. Because like you don't really expect it to be what it is, and then when they throw in all the cause I looked at it as it's supposed to be a comedy. You know what I'm saying? But once they throw in all this seriousness like in there, like this, like oh snap, it's getting real in here. It was like it's hard to not be interested in that. It's like, oh, how they gonna pull all this together?
Yeah,
it's gonna be dope though.
That's the deal, right? That's the deal with it. It has a genuine feel of a 1960s sitcom, right? Like it's so genuinely 1960s, but you got like this. That's why it's weird. That's why you had like this weird eerie feeling with it, because it's like then it's like you said, the seriousness in there and these little things that you can pick out. Like, well, why is this happening? Plus, we know the world is fake. Like we know this isn't the actual world, and so while it feels like a 60s sitcom, there's still that air about it, like, okay, but these people around, like they're not really in this,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I
besides the fact that 66 times like this is kind of all for nothing because I mean like they don't lead nowhere, but it's like this one's like this ain't all for nothing. Like this is like kind of a distraction in a way. This is their distraction, but for the people watching, we like okay, yeah, there's a lot more things going on, but we gotta wait for the characters to catch on.
Yeah,
catch on, so called, as if they don't know. But
yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like we know what to expect. Like we know that there's something big coming down the line. But like to get to that point, we're watching, the Dick Van Dyke Show, basically.
Yeah.
And so even then it was entertaining, but it's like you're expecting something bigger and you know that something bigger is going to happen. So it becomes very intriguing to kind of be like, well, how do we get to, this battle at the end of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm ready
to see. A lot of fun getting there, though.
I'm definitely ready to see how we get there. All right, I wanted to talk about something that's reoccurring here, and I thought it was weird that we had the beekeeper come up at the end, and then like hexagons keep showing up on this show. Like the end screen wipe for both episode 1 and 2 was a hexagon. The intro for the Bewitched style intro, like they made 6 dots that made a hexagon at the end of it, and even the end credits, the pixels are shaped like hexagons. I'm like, so what's the deal with that? Why does it keep showing up?
Does that have
maybe? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, does that have a comic book meaning, or does Marvel just like hexagons?
No, but Darren has a good point, because then that makes the beekeeper more significant, because that's hexagons is the shape of honeycombs.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it could just be a coincidence, but is it more significant?
Kind of doubt it, because like, why a beekeeper?
Yeah, because that beekeeper is random. That's random, dude.
Like a hazmat suit could have turned into anything, but why a beekeeper?
And she hasn't thrown Monica out, even though maybe she doesn't know Monica's sword. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. I'm like, and once it was pointed out to me, I couldn't unsee it. I'm like, there are hexagons everywhere. What's the deal? What's the deal with the hexagons? I have to know.
Yeah, it's gotta be something else. I think that is for something.
I feel like Phil Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a deep cut.
I hadn't noticed that, but now I feel like I hate that the show makes me want to go back and watch for other items that I might have missed.
Yeah, man, there's definitely stuff in it. I never wanted to do this, but I'm gonna watch this frame by frame. Just comb every frame. Like, hold on.
Was that heart red on the calendar? I can't remember if the heart on the calendar was red or not, or if it was black and white.
I don't think so.
Shoot.
Well,
no, I think it was in black and white, right?
But the calendar was like, all this kid wants is a color TV. Was that leading to them becoming a color TV show that they randomly became?
In episode 2, like color.
So I Googled it. All I typed in was beekeeper Marvel, and it popped up.
No, not that dumb villain. No, it's okay,
no. I'm saying what popped up was different ideas of what it could have been.
Okay.
The number one idea said it could have been someone from AIM, because AIM suits are similar to that.
So, like, did he walk in an AIM suit and became a beekeeper? Like, that was Doris's theory earlier.
Yeah. And then they said that there is a creature called Swarm.
Yeah, no.
And he was an evil Nazi scientist with Hydra and was a bee enthusiast. And then the last thing is it could be Marvel's Grim Reaper.
And a beekeeper suit?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
They was just saying that that's just how he appeared in Wanda's reality.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Which
I think that's
and what's
correct.
making them come to that theory is because of the Grim Reaper symbol in the intro of the episode that Darren brought up.
Or maybe just because Vision is dead.
True.
He's super dead.
Yeah.
I'm
leaning more so of it's either sword or aim.
I feel like aim would be a weird thing to have in this show. But I mean, it's not impossible.
But someone is controlling Wanda, though. That's the thing.
Would it be aim, though?
Maybe.
Maybe there's more than aim that we know of.
I mean,
more than aim than meets the eye, huh?
It could very well be. That is super possible. I don't know much about them. Besides that big head guy, it's like their leader.
Mordok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Nothing.
Yeah. I'm leaning toward is either sword or aim, though.
I mean, he had a sword symbol on his back, so.
And his facial expression was not like to be overlooked. If you ask me, like I feel like the way he looked when he turned around, it was like he don't look right. Like he ain't look confused. He ain't look like he was there by mistake. It was like
I think
okay, I'm here now.
I think that he was surprised to see her.
Mm-hmm.
I take it more as in taking in everything because like on the outside you don't know what's actually happening inside. So I think it's like they came with the idea like, what if we went through the sewer? So then he comes up, and so then he's like taking in everything, and they're like, oh hey, there's Wanda.
That could have been a thing. Like actually, I think Doris has a good point because I think they tried with the helicopter before. And it crashed into the field. I think in one of the trailers, we saw a helicopter by the big old red dome thing, right? I feel like that is probably exactly what happened right there. And I feel like they were like, okay, what if we went underneath it? And then that's why he's coming up out of the sewer. That has to be it.
But isn't somebody watching this, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, don't they know what's going on? Don't they know what it looks like?
At the end.
Yeah, but I think to actually be on the inside might be different than watching it on TV.
Because remember, the TV is following Wanda.
Yeah.
Which is weird as well. What's the deal with that? I don't... Why is it an actual TV show?
With credits.
With credits.
Yeah. In intro.
It was like three different credits on the first episode. It was like 3 different sets of credits. I'm like, okay.
Well, the first credits were fake. That was for Wanda's TV show reality.
Then the red credits and then the regular credits. I'm like, Disney, let's we can chill on some of these credits.
We don't need to know everybody.
Who thought of this idea, man? This is insane.
I don't know, but it's kind of genius though, for real.
It is because I like how different it is. And it's not just a rehash of what we already had. And I think that's like the best part about it is that you can tap into something completely different. So you don't get sick and tired of another comic book movie. Yeah,
it's not the same old superhero thing, right? Right.
Yeah. I mean, I like the play on it, like being a parody of old sitcoms. And it's like a mystery as well. Because it's like we're trying to figure out what's going on, who's behind this, when are people going to realize it, who's going to see this and stuff. So I do like the whole premise of this. It's definitely different.
True.
Yeah, like I said, I love it, man. It's. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about it, but I definitely love it. I was shocked.
If they would have released all 8 episodes, I would have watched all 8 episodes.
Yeah, that day, like that night, I would have watched all of them. So right there on my couch with my pills, watch all of them.
That is definitely true. That is definitely true.
I done binge watched more episodes than that. So like, yeah, all of them.
Yeah. So this show is crazy. We're gonna have more on Friday when episode 3 comes out. Depending on how much information is in episode 3, which I hear, because the critics got to see episode 3, I hear there's a lot in episode 3. We may actually do a separate review of WandaVision, separate from the podcast, so you guys should check out our YouTube or Facebook page to check that out. If it's short enough, we'll add a little section to our podcast. We're gonna have to see how it goes, but yeah, this show warrants
replace our news section if it's not enough news next week.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what happens, because I don't know, WandaVision, this seems like a show that might warrant us actually just talking about the show. You know, like I don't feel like there's going to be an episode. Like, there's not going to be an episode where we don't have anything to talk about.
Think about it. Yeah, think about it. It was 2 short episodes, but it was a lot in both of them. 2 very short, like what, 20 minutes?
About 20 minutes.
Yeah, there was a lot in them, like a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. We probably gonna have to give it its time. Like, we can't add it in and like have it shared. Like, we're gonna have to give it its time, man, because it's gonna be enough to talk about.
Absolutely. Maybe this will start our 3 Rivals already reviews.
We didn't talk about everything. Like now we know that we gotta, it's like specific things we might want to keep an eye on and look for. Because when I was watching it, I wasn't really looking for like specific things like telltales and nothing like that. But now after talking about it, I'm like, you know, I mean, I need to look a little bit harder for like these little details and stuff to like that make these little connections. So I might actually have to take some notes.
Yeah, I might watch this again. I actually saw the first episode 3 times. Now,
I'm gonna watch it again.
So, and the reason is, I watched it first and I did a reaction to it, but my mic wasn't on. So then my wife woke up and she wanted to, so we did she watched it. And then she really liked it. And then that's at the point that I realized my first reaction didn't get recorded right. So we did a reaction again. Needless to say, those reactions probably aren't going to go up because they didn't really work well. But
you need the mic.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
you just turn it on.
Or that.
Yeah, turn it on. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. We might need a 3D Rivals after show for this series. This feels like a after show. WandaVision after show with 3D Rivals.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
3D Rivals.
I don't want to shortchange it because, I mean, if we're going to talk about it, it's like, go ahead and, you know, like I said, get into detail with it. I don't want to shortchange it. Like I said, have it shared with something else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I feel it. All right, so with that, that's going to be the episode, I guess. Anything else about WandaVision y'all wanted to talk about?
There was a few things I wanted to bring out just about like how they made the show, which I found interesting. Okay. So we talked about several times about how they really got into like these older sitcoms. And so they actually sent the cast to a sitcom boot camp so that the cast can learn about like exactly what kind of comedy and the tone of comedy was in different sitcoms throughout the decade. And in the first episode, they actually consulted with Dick Van Dyke to figure out like, because the first episode, I think I've never seen a Dick Van Dyke show, so I don't know how it was. But like the first episode was very similar to that style of show. And actually the interior set is nearly exactly the same as the Dick Van Dyke interior. So I thought that was interesting. Also, another super interesting thing. Reportedly, these episodes cost $25 million an episode, which makes it the most expensive TV show ever.
Yeah.
Good God. They got the money, but good God.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that is crazy. I do have to say those actors, like, they did do an excellent job. Like, nobody did bad at playing a 60s sitcom. I mean, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, I forget the actress that plays Agnes. I forget her name, but like they all like hit it 100% on that, you know?
Yeah, so they really went all out, even to shooting it in front of a live studio audience, to the effects being done with puppets and strings. So they they went all out to capture like the essence of an older sitcom. And then there was one more thing I was going to bring out. Oh, two more things I wanted to bring out. Paul Bettany said episode 7 or 8 is when we're going to get like a lot of exciting battles things going on. So those 2 episodes we should look out for. Apparently he's going to tell all and answer all. And we will also find out what happened to Vision after Infinity War, according to him.
He did. That's what happened to him. Okay,
What
I say you, he did.
He dated.
That happened to him.
Maybe he did what Ultron did and uploaded himself to something else.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring out is like, am I the one who thinks Agnes' husband Ralph doesn't exist? Like, is that guy like buried in the backyard or something?
I think she's just pretending.
She's like,
But he doesn't exist.
Yeah, he don't exist. He don't exist at all. There's no Ralph. She keeps mentioning Ralph, and there's no Ralph.
No, there's definitely no Ralph.
There's no Ralph at all.
Yeah, I think he's made up.
Didn't she make that joke though? So like, why don't you make my husband disappear or something like that when they was making something like that? Like,
Yes. She told her, what did she say? The only way Ralph will remember their anniversary unless it was a beer called June 2nd or something like that. She's like a little comment like, Ralph never pays attention. Ralph doesn't do this. And I'm like, Ralph doesn't exist.
Yeah, Ralph ain't real.
I'm like, Ralph ain't real. No, absolutely not. And there was like some other like little tidbits. When they shot in black and white, Vision was actually painted blue instead of purple because blue shows up better in grayscale than purple.
Oh,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what purple show up like a dark gray or something?
Probably like some weird gray that didn't look what they wanted to, I bet. So it was like, let's make them blue instead.
Because they did really good. Because it definitely looked like a original black and white TV show.
Oh yeah, they definitely captured the essence of an older TV show.
Yeah, the wording they use, man, like what they talk about, the with the way they move, it just everything said 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything. I'm like, man, they really lock this down for real.
Yeah, they went all
Even
out.
the names of the people. Even the people's names.
Yeah.
Ain't a whole lot of Geraldines nowadays.
Dottie, Geraldine.
Yeah, Dottie, Geraldine, Agnes. Like, yeah.
All you need is a Gretchen now.
Yeah.
Huh?
You need a Gretchen.
Oh.
So they had that on lock, man. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
good.
they went all out. And apparently Dottie's house is the same house from Lethal Weapon that the Mortov lived in. I was like, I didn't catch that. I went like, I need to watch Lethal Weapon again, or do I need to look at the show again to see if it really is the same house?
I have to watch Lethal Weapon again.
It's been a while. But yeah, so apparently that's the same house. And I'm like, is that house just like sitting on a set somewhere ready to be used?
I'm thinking so. I don't know. It's funny on how they say that when it comes to old shows and movies where they're like, oh, this is the same house, this is the same building. So
Yeah.
but that's pretty interesting though.
Yeah. And then I was wondering, like, how come, well, I guess we know why he didn't give himself a real name, because maybe Wanda's not all in control. Like, Vision doesn't have a real name. It's just Vision. And then when she answers the phone, she says Vision Resident. So I'm like, is his name Vision?
Yeah. His name is Vision. I thought the same thing.
Like, come on.
So, like, she couldn't think of the last name.
Was she,
or first name?
or was she just saying that was his last name? Like, is her name WandaVision? Oh.
Oh.
Huh. Now, I think the show's called WandaVision because it's Wanda, like Wanda's Vision, like it's the TV show.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it has that sitcom style thing, right?
A play on words.
Yeah.
A double entendre.
Indeed. Awesome. Indeed. But Doris, did you have some other stuff?
That was it.
That was all? All right. Well, that's our thoughts on Wanda. Do we rank the episode? Do we do that?
Why not?
Sure. New ranking, I guess. I'm going to say, greatest show ever. That's what I'm ranking it. Greatest show ever.
I'm going with that too.
Okay. I was going to say I pay for that, but all right.
Nah, dude, this is good. I'll watch this anytime.
No, it was good, but I want to see more before I give it the greatest show ever.
Well, not the entire thing. Okay, greatest episodes ever. Can we change it to that?
All right.
Okay, fine. I agree.
You didn't find it delightful?
No, I think it's cool to rate it now, and then like when we review the end and we do a whole thing of it, then we get to see on how we felt in the beginning.
Okay, so it's like an initial rating then. Initial quality, like
initial rating.
Okay.
All right,
if we're talking about ratings, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have rated it 97%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
green tomato.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high.
That is what's up. Now, I believe that's only the first 3 episodes, so of course we'll have to see how everything else goes. But yeah. Pretty dope.
I can't see them tanking this.
No, no.
I can't see it going downhill, man. Like, it's too much to build on.
Yeah, this is going to be great. Definitely going to be good. Well, with that being said, that's how we're going to leave it off. We think these 2 are the greatest episodes ever. Make sure you check it out. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how you listened or watched our entire podcast. What are you doing? You should have watched it first. But
you had no idea what we were talking about.
Yeah, like, man, it's crazy. But yeah, make sure you check out WandaVision. Make sure you check out the rest of the season because this is absolutely 100% awesome. So we want to definitely want to check that out. If you want to see more from us, we are on Facebook. It's facebook.com/3D Rivals. You can email us at gmail, 3drivals@gmail.com. We're also on YouTube. We don't have a special URL for that, so just search up 3D Rivals. I will also put a link in our description for our YouTube channel. So if you want to watch the podcast instead of listening to it, you can look at our beautiful faces and see what we look like. We're going to disappoint you. So with that being said, thanks for watching and listening, guys. We appreciate it. Peace out.